What is going on, guys? TD Lincore here. Real quick before the video starts, I want to let you guys know I do apologize for the poor quality and the poor commentary of the video. I was sick when I recorded it. I tried to wait to record this video until after my sickness had passed, but it had already been a few days since the show had ended. Other people already got their reviews out, so I needed to go ahead and get this video out. I couldn't wait any longer. My voice is a little harsh, it's a little scratched, it's a little gone. But anyways, I still hope you guys do enjoy the video. I do apologize once again. I'll try to make sure this doesn't happen anymore. But thank you guys anyways, and I hope you enjoy the video. Bye bye. What is going on, guys? TD Lincore here. Welcome to the wrestling aspect of my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Wrestling Kingdom 12. We're going to be giving you our breakdown of each match and the show as an entirety, as well as giving you our review and seeing how well we predicted each match. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with the pre-show match, the New Japan Rumble. My prediction to win this match was Nagata. In actuality, Nagata was the fourth person eliminated, so we actually got this match wrong pretty early. But to start with the Rumble, the first two participants in the Rumble was Kinemura, who was also the only young boy in the match. He started the match off with Bushi. Other known facts about the match: Chase Owens was the first person to pick up an elimination when he gave a package pile driver to Delirious, who was number 3 in the match. The count on the move was actually botched. He had him down for the 3 count. The referee stopped at 2 for some reason and then recounted the 3 count. Chase Owens was actually probably the MVP in my opinion, at least of the first half of this match, because he did pick up 3 eliminations. And then he was proceeded to get ganged up on by 3 members of Suzuki Gun, and I believe was eliminated shortly after that. Suzuki Gun then went on to try to unmask Legends Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger. But then Tiger Mask would start to actually try to unmask El Desperado. It was pretty fun stuff, some pretty fun segments there. There were some rapid fire eliminations after a while. David Finlay came in and got himself an elimination, but then got himself eliminated by Hujiro. Which actually, after Hujiro eliminated David Finlay, was in the match by himself until the next participant came out, which was last year's runner-up, Cheeseburger. There was some fun little spots with these two, and then shortly after Cheeseburger came out, we started to unleash the legends. One being Kojima, who was my backup pick. Cheeseburger had a lot of funny moments in this. He put Kojima in the corner and started doing the signature Kojima chops, and then took the chops, and there's a lot of good stuff. I don't remember who it was, but somebody did go to the top rope to jump on Cheeseburger to go for a splash, and he literally just, like, as they're climbing to the top, just started rolling on the other side of the ring. It got the crowd laughing. It got a good pop. It was really funny stuff. The winner of the match was actually Masahito Kakihara, which I had never heard of this person before, but it was good for him. He was a cancer survivor, so you know what? Good for him. I'm happy for him. Getting on to the main show, the first match of the night was Roppongi 3K versus the Young Bucks. This match was actually a really fun, good match. It was the great way to start open. There was a good spot in this match where there was actually a double sharpshooter. I believe it was Sho who had Matt in the sharpshooter, and Nick who had Yo in the sharpshooter. And then they looked at each other and they realized that their partner was in the sharpshooter, so they just started slapping each other. It was pretty good stuff. Eventually, Roppongi 3K went for a double dive on the Young Bucks. They connected with the dives, but then Yo started selling his back. And then immediately after this, took a German suplex on the apron. And then the Bucks actually then isolated Rocky Romero, who was ringside, and then brought him up to the apron and powerbombed him on the apron. And then went down and proceeded to powerbomb Yo on the apron. And then the Bucks began to isolate Yo, giving him some good heat. But eventually, Yo would low bridge Matt, who would run at him, and Matt would basically flip over the top rope after it was pulled down straight to the floor and he immediately started selling his back. When I first saw this, I legit thought he was hurt because he had the tag out, and then when Nick called for a tag, he couldn't tag back in quite yet. But luckily, Matt was okay. He was just selling it really, really well like a champ. So now both one member from Roppongi and one member from the Young Bucks are both hurt selling their back. Later on, we saw Matt go for a powerbomb again to Yo on the ramp, but then Yo would reverse it and give it to he would end up giving Matt a back body drop. Later after this, Nick would go for a dive. I believe it was on Sho, who would move out the way, and Nick would end up crashing on his own brother Matt. After this, Sho finally got the hot tag. He came in, House of Fire, but then was cut off with an elbow. But then Sho would proceed to give Germans to anything that moved. He Germaned, I believe it was Nick a couple times, and then Nick would grab onto Matt to try to hold on, and then he would just German both of them at the same time. Some good double team moves, and then they went for their finisher, and Nick would reverse it into a DDT. That was pretty cool, because their finisher is like a flapjack flatliner combo, and then when he threw Nick up for the flapjack, he reversed it to a tornado DDT, and it was a really cool thing to watch. And then Matt and Yo, the two who are selling their own backs, would start trading back work. They would like trade shots to each other's backs. And then the Bucks would go on to double team. I believe it was Sho. Matt would hook the sharpshooter, which would lead to a rope break. And then Roppongi, paying homage to their young boy days, would proceed to put the Young Bucks into single leg crabs. And then it looked like right when it looked like Matt was going to tap out, Nick would grab his hand and not let them. It was a pretty good moment. It was kind of cartoony though, the way they did it. And then this is where it got pretty funny, because then Nick and Sho would start, like they had like themselves a little stare down, and then Nick just kicks Yo in the back, who's just sitting there. So Sho, seeing that, would turn around and kick Matt in the back. So the two members of each team who was not hurt started kicking the other partners that was hurt as they stared down at each other. It was kind of funny, actually. And then Nick finally had enough and just super kicked Sho. And then he dove, I believe, onto Yo. And then Matt and Yo started trading again. Matt hits the super kick. The Bucks would hit the Meltzer driver, and then Yo would eventually tap to the sharpshooter. And then the Bucks are your new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Next up, we had the Gauntlet match. Going into this match, the Gorillas of Destiny were the champions, which also meant that they were the final team to enter the Gauntlet match. Starting off the match, we had Suzuki Gun starting off with War Machine and Michael Elgin. And we're not going to talk about a lot in this match. Basically, the end of this part of was Zack Sabre Jr. actually choked out Ray Yo from War Machine. And the next team to enter the match was Chaos, which I believe was the team of Beretta, Yano, and Ishii. Yano got the pin after a roll-up. Next was Taguchi Japan, who was my pick to win. Also, I picked Roppongi 3K to win the tag team match, and they lost, so we're 0-2. Next to enter the match was Taguchi Japan, which was my pick to win. I believe it was Makabe, Juice Robinson, and Taguchi himself. Juice fired up, and Makabe fired up, and there was a bunch of repeated corner strikes with, Taguchi doing his coach thing. And then the best spot in this entire, well, probably not this entire match, but one of the better parts of the entire show, actually, was Taguchi kind of paid homage to Shinsuke Nakamura and went for a hip attack like Kinshasa, but then would get rolled up by Yano and be eliminated. So we're 0-3. The final members to enter the match was the champions, Bullet Club, which was Tamatanga, Leo Tonga, or Tonga Loa, I don't remember which one's which, and Bad Luck Fale. The Bullet Club shined up really good. Ishii fired back up, though, and got a comeback and gives Bad Luck Fale a suplex. He tried for it for a while and then eventually got it. It was pretty good. And then the move, probably the move of the night. If not, it was the second best move of the entire night. Beretta went to the top rope. He went for a moonsault, and then Tama Tonga ran under him and came down with the gun stun. Eat your heart out, Randy Orton. Tama Tonga eventually went for another gun stun on Beretta. He reversed it into the Dude Buster and won the entire match for Chaos. So, Chaos members Beretta, Ishii, and Yano, your new never open weight 6-man tag team champions by eliminating 3 teams. Next up, we had one of the most anticipated matches of the night, and what really could have been the match of the night. Kota Ibushi versus Kota. Now, my only thing about this match was I feel like it needed more time. This match was amazing. They told an amazing story, and I feel like it could have been easily the best match of the night and possibly a contender for match of the year, even though the year just started, if it had about 8 more minutes. There was a bunch of this match started off really fast paced, a bunch of reverse to a standoff. Cody would proceed to flip off Kota Ibushi. After that, it was pretty funny. Eventually, there was some more, back and forth, like easy, quick stuff, reverse. But then Cody would actually get the upper hand and knock Kota down, and then kind of taunt him for a second, and then actually extend his hand and help Kota up to his feet. And as soon as he helped him up to his feet, he kicked him and tried to take advantage. He'd hit the ropes, and then Kota delivered a snap Rana. And then he dives. Then he proceeds to do a plancha, aiming for Cody, but accidentally also hits Brandy. Then Kota would proceed to check on Brandy. After she was not responding, he picked her up and turned around, and Cody just literally just cold clocks him right in the mouth. And she woke up nearly instantly. And they started laughing because it was all a trap. Cody then proceeded to beat up Kota with a chair on the outside, hit him multiple times in the neck area. He went for one last big shot, and he evaded it, then hits a baseball slide on Cody, and then proceeded to hit the golden triangle. He throws Cody back in the ring, he fires up, and he hits, bump, and he fires up on Cody. He goes for a suplex, but then Brandy grabs his foot, distracting him, and Cody takes advantage. And then they started trading moves, like they started trading on the apron, trading shots. Kota went for a pile driver on the apron. Cody reversed it into a crossroads to the floor from the apron. This was the spot of the night. Cody delivering a crossroads from the apron to the floor. And Kota didn't just take the crossroads to the floor, like he spiked on it. I had no idea how he was even alive after this move. Kota Ibushi is simply the best, if not one of the best. Cody proceeded to get back in the ring. He tried to get the count out victory, but Cody got back in at 19. Cody would then hit a springboard Rana for a 2 count. He would go for the crossroads again, and this time Kota would reverse and hit the lawn dart. There was more trading strikes, and then Kota would hit some nasty palm strikes, and then a last ride for a 2 count. Then Cody would hit a wrist lock lariat, and then he would proceed to tell Kota Ibushi that Kenny will never love you like I love you. And apparently this pissed Kota off and delivered a vicious kick to the head, and then would go on to proceed to hit the Kamigoye. And after having Cody down after the Kamigoye, decided he didn't want to go for the pin quite yet. He felt like he needed to add that extra exclamation point at the end, and then he went to the top rope and delivered a beautiful Phoenix Splash for the win. Kota Ibushi beats Cody. Next we had KES, the Killer Elite Squad, versus LIJ members Evil and Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Now, on his entrance, Lance Archer was actually spitting water on fans. I counted at least 11 bottles he wasted on fans. And they started taking bottles from the Young Boys. And if you guys don't know, the Young Boys only get 1 bottle of water through the entire 5 hour of the main show. So they only get 1 bottle of water. And Lance Archer was going around taking them and spitting them on fans. The funny thing was, the fans weren't even mad. They were kind of enjoying it. Either way, getting to the match, KES literally hits their finisher as soon as the match started. They bum rushed Evil and Sonata, knocked Sonata out the ring, picked up Evil, hit him with the killer bomb, and then Sonata was able to break up the pin, thankfully. Sonata broke up the pin. KES then there's not really a lot to this match. They proceeded to beat the hell out of LIJ on the outside of the ring. Then proceeded to beat the hell out of the Young Boys for no reason. And then Lance Archer would actually choke slam Evil onto the Young Boys and Sonata. There was a lot of heat in this match, a lot of heat. Eventually, Sonata would get the hot tag, come in on a comeback, but then would get cut off, and then Sonata would eat a killer bomb. But this time, instead of a broke up pin, Sonata kicked out of their finisher. Made Sonata look really strong, made him look really good. Eventually, LIJ hit the comeback. Sonata hits Everything is Evil. They hit the Magic Killer. Lance Archer, I believe, kicked out, but as soon as he kicked out, Sonata went to the top rope, hit his beautiful moonsault. LIJ, your new heavyweight tag team championships. We had LIJ in this match. That's another one we got right. Next up, we had Hiroki Goto versus Minoru Suzuki. This match was for the Never Openweight Championship, and it was also a hair versus hair match. This match started off, there was a lot of big strikes early on, trading from Goto to Suzuki. Suzuki would then almost immediately after the big strikes, about 30 seconds into the match, he would hook the sleeper. And then, he would pull Goto to the corner, and this match was a death match, by the way, so there's no disqualifications. He'd pull Goto to the corner, and then he would sit on the top rope and yank Goto in the air while he's still in the sleeper. Now, technically, this match should have been called because Goto passed out. Right there, he passed out, and Suzuki just dropped him to the floor. The referee was checking on Goto for a long time. They even brought a doctor in to check on him, and then Suzuki, being Suzuki, kicked the doctor out the ring. Now, this match technically should have been called right here because Goto, was knocked out. I don't know why they didn't call it here. Suzuki pretty much dominated the entire match. He goes to the outside, he takes him outside the ring, punishes him with a chair, punishes him back in the ring. After a while, after taking so much punishment, Goto finally mounted a comeback and fired up, but then he got caught in a sleeper again. As he was nearly about to put him to sleep, he hooked him for the Gotch pile driver, but it was reversed. And he hits Yushi, and then Goto would then proceed to hit Yushi Goroshi out of reversing the Gotch pile driver. After this, Suzuki Gun, the group would come in and try to interfere, but to Goto's luck, Yoshihashi would come in and help out a little bit. And then, pretty much right after Yoshihashi helps make the save on Goto, Suzuki hits a nasty looking drop kick to Goto's face. Goto would then proceed to hit rapid strikes, and when I say rapid strikes, I mean he sit there and just strike after strike after strike after strike after strike, like fast, hard strikes for about 45 seconds. And after Goto couldn't even protect himself and was back to the ropes, he hooked him for the sleeper again. Goto would then reverse yet another Gotch pile driver. Suzuki hits Goto with a shoot-like headbutt. Basically, after Goto reversed the pile driver, Suzuki would grab him and gave him a real, actual headbutt. They both got to the top rope somehow. Goto gave Suzuki a super Yushigoroshi. Basically, had him hooked with Yushigoroshi and jumped from the middle rope and hit it for a 2 count. Then they both started exchanging forearms, and then Goto would hit a headbutt of his own, and then he would hit a front GTR, and then he would hit a normal GTR. Goto is your winner and your new Never Openweight Heavyweight Championship. Now after this, Suzuki Gun was trying to get Minoru Suzuki out of there. They were trying to lead him to the back. But then as soon as he came to, he realized what was going on. Suzuki, he turned around, shoved away Suzuki Gun, shoved away the young lions that were trying to help him to the back, went into the ring. Actually, before he got in the ring, he actually picked up a chair. It looked like he was going to go in there and hit Goto with it. But he gets in the ring and actually just knocks the hell out of the other chair that's already in the ring. sets down his chair, grabs the clippers, and proceeds to shave his head. He just wanted to do it on his own terms. This match was pretty good for what it was. We had Goto win that match. That's another 1-1 for us, boys. Next match of the night was the fatal four-way match for the Super Junior the Super Junior Championship. I don't remember what the full name is called right now. The participants was Marty Scurll, Hiromu Takahashi, Will Ospreay, and Kushida. As soon as this match started, Marty dipped out the ring, tried to get everybody else to fight back. There was some quick back and forth. Every time there was a pin, though, Marty would jump in and break up the pin, then jump right back out. After some back and forth between Ospreay and Kushida, Marty kind of tries to take advantage of some situations, starts putting to work. He starts putting work on Hiromu, and then he starts putting work on Ospreay, and then he starts, and as he's putting work on Ospreay and Hiromu on the outside of the ring, Kushida dives on everyone, but he starts to brawl behind the barricade. Will Ospreay eventually climbs up one of the support beams that's holding the lights and moonsaults off onto everybody. He starts going to work on Kushida inside the ring. Marty would then come in and take over after that. He puts Will Ospreay in the chicken wing. At the same time, Kushida puts Hiromu in the hoverboard lock. So now they both have somebody in a submission, and they're worried that the other person is going to make his person tap before they can. So eventually Marty Scurll lets go of the chicken wing and super kicks Kushida in the face. After this, there was basically a quad down. There was a bunch of rapid fire strikes by everybody that ended up in a double down. They all four come to their knees. They start hitting each other. Just, all brawling right there while they're all sitting on their knees. They eventually, Marty and Will jumped up to their feet really quick, delivered a double super kick to Kushida and to Hiromu. Then they started to trade strikes with each other. Will Ospreay goes for his finisher, but is caught in the chicken wing. That gets broken up with a moonsault from Kushida. After this, there was a bunch more big spots with Hiromu, some false finishes. Marty would eventually tape Hiromu to the guardrail and then start taunting him, and then grabbed his other hand that was already free and broke his fingers. Gets in the ring, grabs Ospreay's fingers, grabs Kushida's fingers, act like he's gonna break both of their fingers, but they actually reverse and break Marty's fingers. Marty would roll out of the ring. Kushida would start to put Ospreay in a bunch of different kind of submissions. Meanwhile, on the outside, Marty's actually sitting there jaw-jacking to Hiromu, telling him to shut his face as he's taping up his fingers. As soon as he got his fingers taped up, you see him grab a handful of powder, gets in the ring, blinds Kushida with it, goes for a small package, but out of instinct, Kushida holds onto the small package, stands up while he can't see, and delivers a small package driver. Gives him Back to the Future. That is eventually broken up by the Robinson Special. Hiromu finally gets free, then fires up. He hits 2 dive bombs, and then hits a time bomb on Marty for a 2 count. Marty and Will then work together for a short amount of time to take care of Hiromu and Kushida, but is eventually overcame by Hiromu, who shines up, then eats a dive bomb of his own. Will delivers an inverted 450 splash. Then there's some back and forth between him and Hiromu. Hiromu hits the time bomb on Will, but Marty pulls the ref out of the ring. He gets his umbrella and delivers the nastiest umbrella shot I've ever seen to the side of the head of Hiromu. And then proceeded to hit Kushida with the umbrella, not as bad as he hit Hiromu with it. Turns around, goes to hit Will Ospreay with the umbrella. Ospreay ducks, delivers a Spanish fly. Marty sells up. Will delivers the Oz Cutter. Will Ospreay pins Marty Scurll for the first time. Will Ospreay is your new IWGP Super Junior Heavyweight Champion. Next up, we had surprisingly one of the shorter matches of the night was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Switchblade Jay White for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Now this match was pretty good for what it was. Oh, we had Will Ospreay in that. We actually had him pinning Marty Scurll too, so there's another win for us. And in this match, we had Tanahashi winning, but this is one of those matches where I felt like Jay White was going to come out looking even stronger than he was going in looking after losing. But sadly, that was not the case. This match was still a really good match, though. There was some clean back and forth from the start, some good wrestling, some standoffs. Tanahashi would then go for a plancha. Jay White would move out of the way. Tanahashi started selling his leg. Jay would start working the leg, and he started putting some really good heat on Tanahashi in the ring. Actually, also did some work to his leg outside the ring with the guardrail. He starts telling Tanahashi, like, come on, aren't you the ace? You're the ace, right? Aren't you the ace? Taunting him, like trying to fire him up. Tana tries to fight back, but the leg keeps giving out. Jay continues to work the leg, but then eventually Tanahashi would hit a dragon screw and then would fire up. He starts to hit more dragon screws. He hits Jay White tries to get out the ring. Tanahashi gives him a dragon screw while his leg is between the ropes. Tanahashi goes to the top rope while Jay White is outside the ring. He hits a high fly flow cross body style to the outside. Later on, Jay White would eventually get the upper hand again with a German suplex, and then he gives him a suplex on the apron. Or at least he tried to give him a suplex on the apron, but he kind of just like picked him upside down and then setted him down on the apron on top of his head. Starts giving him some heat in the corner, demanding that the ace be shown. Starts demanding that Tanahashi shows him that he's still the ace of New Japan. Jay hits a flurry of moves and ending with a Death Valley Driver for a 2 count. Jay White would go for a missile drop kick. Tanahashi would reverse and grab the leg and hit another dragon screw. Pick him up. He would hit him with a twist and shout. Put him on the top rope. Hit him with a middle rope twist and shout. And then he would go to the top rope. And he would hit another high fly flow cross body style on the inside of the ring. After that, he went to the top rope again, went for the regular high fly flow, but would miss. Jay White would then grab him in a crucifix hold and start delivering elbows to the jaw. And then he followed it with a Kiwi Crusher. Tanahashi would then eventually reverse something into a dragon, or Jay White would go for Blade Runner, which is like, New Japan's version of Sister Abigail. Tana reverse, hits a dragon suplex, goes to the top rope. Jay White then sells up. He gives him a high fly flow to Jay White's back while he's standing up. Goes back to the top rope, hits the regular high fly flow, the frog splash style, for the win. Hiroshi Tanahashi, still your IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Next up, we had the most anticipated match of the night. Alpha versus Omega. Kenny versus Jericho. Now, as soon as this match was about to start, Omega is over there. He's giving, hugs to the Bucks. And then Jericho tries to attack him from behind before the match starts. Young Boys and the Bucks get in there and start breaking up the fight. Eventually, Jericho gets put back into his corner. As soon as the match started, they just started brawling. Don Callis, as soon as the bell rang, they started just wailing on each other. He screamed, "It's a hockey fight! It's a hockey fight, Kevin!" It was amazing. I love Don Callis on commentary. There was some back and forth. There was really no wrestling in this match. There was, just a bunch of... It was a fight, It was a big fight. There was some back and forth, trading with strikes and chops in the corners. Eventually, Kenny would knock Jericho out the ring, and then he would hit him with a baseball slide, which sent Jericho over the first guardrail, over by the English commentary announce table. Kenny would go for a springboard over the guardrail. Jericho would actually move out the way and send Kenny crashing through the table, springboarding onto nothing, going through the table. As Red Shoes is trying to check on Kenny, Jericho actually starts pushing Red Shoes. Red Shoes tells him not to touch him as he's trying to check on Kenny. Then he would proceed to grab Red Shoes and throw him across the floor. And then Red Shoes' son would actually go over there to check on his dad because he's one of the young boys. And Jericho would grab his son and put him in the walls of Jericho. And as he has him in the walls, he's sitting there screaming at Red Shoes, "Look at your son! Look at your son!" And then out of nowhere, Kenny Omega comes and boots Jericho in the face to get him off of Red Shoes' son. Start lighting Jericho up. He would eventually get Jericho down. He would grab a table, set it on top of Jericho, climb up one of those light beams, and do a double stomp to the table, which is on top of Jericho. Eventually, Jericho would make his way back onto the other side of the guardrail, back on the ring side. He would grab Kenny, actually pick him up, and suplex him over the guardrail to the floor. After that, Jericho made his way back inside the ring and tried to get the count out victory. Kenny Omega made it back into the ring. There's some more back and forth here. Kenny Omega eventually got the upper hand, goes for a springboard, but as he's going for a springboard, Jericho does his trademark springboard dropkick to Kenny's knee, which knocks Kenny down. Jericho would then grab a table on the outside of the ring. He actually picked Kenny Omega up for a powerbomb, like he was going to powerbomb him to the table. Kenny would start fighting back, but then Jericho went and powerbombed them anyways, just not through the table. He powerbombed them on the floor. He went and proceeded to grab one of the cameraman's cameras and start showing it to the crowd while he's flipping them off. Throws him back in the ring, hits a spinning elbow off the second rope, grabs a chair, shoves it in the corner, hits a middle rope drop kick. Kenny starts to fight back. Jericho hits the lion salt, does the signature pose that he does when he puts his foot on their chest for a cover and says, "Come on, baby!" Something he debuted in Japan a long time ago. There was some more heat from Jericho. Eventually, Kenny Omega is able to hit a snap Rana, hits the Tope con Hilo, throws him back in, hits the Kutaro Crusher, hits another big move, and then he goes for a V-trigger. Jericho blocks it though. Goes for the walls. Kenny reverses, starts delivering more knees, goes for the Dragon Suplex. Jericho reverses, gets him in the walls of Jericho. Kenny eventually fights to the ropes, but it's no disqualification, so Jericho doesn't let go. He works his way to the corner of the ring, reaches under the ring while he's still in the walls, grabs some kind of spray can, and actually sprays Jericho in the face with it to get him to let go of the walls. And then this is a pretty comical spot. He sprayed his armpits, sprayed all over his hair, and then opens up his pants and sprayed it inside his pants, and that kind of shook him up real quick, like he was happy about it. After that, Chris Jericho would shove Red Shoes into Kenny and then pull Kenny headfirst into the chair that he had placed in the corner. Jericho would call for one of the young boys to bring him a towel to wipe off his face, and then he would continue to bash Kenny Omega's head into the chair that's in the corner. This actually busted Kenny open. There was more of him bashing his head into the corner of the chair while he was busted open. Eventually, Kenny is able to pull off some V-triggers and then delivers a couple of Snapdragons. After he delivers 2 Snapdragons, he goes for a third. Jericho's able to evade the third one and grab the chair out of the corner and just chunk it right at Kenny's head for a double down. Eventually, Jericho works up, grabs the chair, starts beating up Kenny with the chair some more. He goes to the top rope, but eats a V-trigger from Kenny. He falls off of the top rope, off of the middle rope to the outside through the table he had previously set up. He gets Jericho back in the ring, delivers a couple of V-triggers, some knee shots, hits the J-driller for a 2 count. He hits the actual V-trigger. He goes for the one-winged angel, but Jericho reverses it. As he's pulling him down for the one wing, he rolls through, hooks the walls of Jericho, and then he hooks the lion tamer version where he puts the knee in the back. Eventually, he realized Kenny wasn't going to tap, so he let go. Kenny would start to come back, but then Jericho would try to shove Red Shoes into Kenny again. He went for the code breaker. It was blocked. Kenny Omega hits a couple more knees, followed by a one-winged angel. But Jericho was able to grab the ropes, so he couldn't get the 3 count. Kenny goes up to the top rope. Jericho knocks his feet. Jericho goes to the middle rope to try to start punching Kenny, Kenny pulls his feet out from under him. Jericho goes face first into the ring buckle. Kenny fires up, gets a flurry of strikes, but then gets hit with a codebreaker out of nowhere. I absolutely love the way Kenny sells the codebreaker. He completely crumbles on it. None of his body is on the mat as Jericho bumps. But as good as this codebreaker was, Kenny still kicked out at 2. Jericho would then deliver more chair shots to Kenny. And then he would lay the chair on top of Kenny. He would go for the lion salt. As he would go for the lion salt, Kenny grabbed the chair on top of him and threw him at Jericho, stunning Jericho, stuck on the middle rope, picks him up, hits the one-winged angel on the steel chair, and gets the win. Kenny Omega retaining the IWGP United States Championship in an absolute dream match between him and Chris Jericho. Next match was our final match of the night. It was Okada versus Naito. Now, I really didn't take too many notes on this match, simply because I wasn't too big of a fan of this match. Yes, I wanted Naito to win this match, but the reason why I was really not a big fan of this match is because there was nothing super special on Okada's part of this match, because this match basically went the exact same way you see almost any Okada match go. Start of the match, it was Naito doing Naito things. He was tranquiloing, gave Okada a neck breaker on one of the rails on the outside. Okada got a comeback, put Naito in the Cobra Clutch. Naito would try to fight out of it, but couldn't get out. Eventually, he was able to get to the ropes. Then Naito would hit a comeback. They started trading some shots, so it was good back and forth. Okada would, towards the end, would hit a Rainmaker for a 2 count. Naito kicked out of the Rainmaker. He would go for a tombstone, but Naito would escape. But Okada would hook the Cobra Clutch again. Naito would eventually reverse out of the Cobra into a Destino. Doesn't go for the pin, though. There's a double down. They get back up. They start trading shots. Okada's shots eventually start to get really weak. And Naito spits on Okada and slaps him in the face. There's a bunch of more big moves. Okada would then eventually reverse a Destino into a Rainmaker, but he would maintain wrist control. He went for another Rainmaker. This time Naito would duck and then hit Destino. This time he goes for the cover for a 2 count only. He'd go for a Destino again, but this time Okada would block with an uppercut. Naito would follow the uppercut with an Enziguri. Okada follows that with a dropkick. Okada would then hit the Tombstone Pile Driver and then go for a Rainmaker. But then the Rainmaker is reversed into another Destino. This time after this Destino, it is Naito that maintains wrist control, goes for another Destino, but gets reversed into a 180 twisting Tombstone. And then he would eat another Rainmaker, and Okada would retain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. So we got that match wrong. So all in all, we got 6 matches right. We got 4 wrong. Not a bad show. I thought Wrestling Kingdom 11 was better. But I all in all, still, very much enjoyed this show. It was some of the best wrestling you'll see in the world. Ibushi versus Rhodes was a real potential show still if they had just a little bit more time. My favorite match was probably the Fatal 4-Way. But there you go, guys. That's our breakdown review of Wrestling Kingdom 12. If you want to, you can go watch our predictions video that we did before the show. Really check the show out. It was really good. I'm going to be watching New Year's Dash here in a little bit. I know it's been out for a couple days. I know I haven't got to watch it yet. I'm going to be watching that probably tonight or tomorrow. And I will see you all next time. Peace out, guys.